Hi, welcome to Surprise, You're a Virtual Leader. I'm Dr. Yvonne Phelps, the Vice President of Academic Affairs for Campus Services, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Dr. Erin Alward. She's the Director of Academic Affairs for the Central Florida campus of the University of Phoenix. We're here to talk about the realities and the strategies of becoming a virtual leader, virtually overnight. In the current medical crisis and the economic and cultural jarring shifts that are forcing most of us out of our comfort zone, managers and leaders are thrust into a totally virtual environment. And this comes with new logistics, emotional and practical considerations, significant challenges, and also some great opportunities to support successful transition and growth. For some of us, this might be a very short-term change, and for others, some or all aspects of virtual leadership might continue into the distant future. Succeeding as a virtual leader takes on a whole new meaning in our current environment. To support this change, we're going to explore specific attitudes, tasks, and tools to help you become more efficient in this current role. Dr. Alward and I are fortunate to have recently presented and published on this topic, and we're delighted to share our experience and findings with you. There are a few thoughts to consider. First of all, impromptu virtual leadership is certainly a challenging new frontier. Aspects that we need to consider are trust, emotional intelligence, communication, team building, technology, employee recognition and motivation, and also certainly leadership styles. For many leaders, the thought of virtually leading was not even a consideration just a short time ago, and now it's become the new norm. There are a number of significant factors influencing the effectiveness of leadership in this new arena, and they include the shock of this rapid change and the reality that virtual leaders don't typically get any formal training. This is especially true when it happens so unexpectedly. We also have to acknowledge that virtual work can be lonely and a bit daunting. Leaders have to find their own unique way to focus on supporting and managing their teams and their deliverables. This is especially true today when many team members also have been thrust into a potentially uncomfortable virtual work environment. Virtual leaders have several important priorities, including providing supporting, authentic support, and setting clear expectations and guidance. So now let's delve into the specific themes that are both intuitive and also supported by research. With that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Alward.
Thank you so much. Okay, first let's talk about trust. A virtual leader must trust his or her virtual employees. There can be a tendency to micromanage as one cannot see their remote employees. However, if you hire good employees and you trust them, then the job is getting done just as it would be in a physical environment. We suggest providing very clear directions and deadlines and then allow your employees to do their jobs. Just because you cannot see them does not mean they are not performing. And try and show that you trust your employees by not engaging in micromanagement tactics. Now, this goes both ways. As a virtual leader, your employees need to trust you. We suggest having a commitment to being available to your virtual employees, being highly communicative, and following through on your commitments. As much as possible, try not to consistently cancel standing meetings, one on ones, for example, and return voicemails and emails as quickly as possible. Having a hyper sense awareness of being available and supportive as a virtual leader is imperative, especially now. If you take the time to get to know your employees and to understand what their needs are, you will build their trust. Emotional intelligence. As a general rule, a successful leader needs to have a high level of emotional intelligence. In our experience and our research, a successful virtual leader needs to have an even greater level of emotional intelligence. It is very important for virtual leaders to be more in tune with what is happening in the lives of their virtual employees and the challenges they are facing right now. You may not be able to see the stress in their face or hear the anxiety in their voice. So, really taking the time to understand your employees right now and at any time can go a long way in honing your virtual leadership skills. Virtual leaders can use EI to encourage more introverted team members to resolve conflict and to build meaningful relationships, which can lead to greater team satisfaction and results. Communication. Communication is critical in any leadership role, but even more so as a virtual leader. Being available consistently is essential. We suggest asking yourself, do your virtual employees understand how communication will work in a virtual environment? Dispersed teams, for example, who are on different time zones can look different. There are all kinds of virtual teams and virtual team makeups. Be very open about your schedule or commitments. If you are under a tight deadline, your virtual employees may not be able to see this. In a face to face environment, this is easier. They may be able to see that you have spent your day in meetings or that paperwork is piling up on your desk. If you are going to be less available to your team based on a special project or other commitment, taking the time to quickly get out ahead of that and let your team know can ease anxiety and avoid setting inconsistent expectations in terms of your commitment to communication and responsiveness. This goes along with really providing clarity and clear expectations. Consider asking, does everyone know what is expected of them? Does everyone understand the deadlines? You can often tell by looking at someone if they are clear on things, but you cannot always see that with virtual employees. Take the extra time to really make sure everything makes sense and how your employees need to communicate with you and how you will in turn communicate with them. Team building. Team building and building rapport is vital in the virtual world. Our research has shown that effective team building can lead to enhanced morale, a feeling of inclusion, and a real feeling of connectedness. We need to find ways to connect with our teams virtually while not being able to do so face to face. Zoom and Skype are great tools, but in our research, we found other creative ways to engage in team building. Some of these include implementing a buddy system, having daily check ins if your employees would feel comfortable with that level of engagement, having a virtual cup of coffee, virtual happy hours, celebrations, book clubs, things of that nature. Technology. Technology can be the lifeline that virtual team members literally cling to. Therefore, the technology must be collaborative and reliable. It is understandably necessary to provide reliable tools for your virtual employees and assure that they understand how to use them. However, we recommend not making the assumption that everyone is comfortable using technology. Video technology is a good example. Having a video chat with one employee could make them very uncomfortable and provide a level of anxiety that they just don't need right now. However, having a video chat with another employee could be an excellent resource. And some may prefer the good old fashioned telephone. They may just want to simply pick up the phone and call you, and all of that is okay. Technology, no matter how robust it is not a substitute, though, for good, strong virtual leadership skills. Dr. Phelps and I have made amazing and long term connections in our early days of leading remote employees when we did not have half the technology we have now. Conversely, we have seen technology be used as a management tool or a substitution for that real human connection and really engaging and successfully leading your virtual employees. Employee recognition and motivation. This can be valuable for many remote employees, but unfortunately can often go the out of sight, out of mind mentality. Here are some ways to help with that. Acknowledge how your virtual team members may be feeling right now and empathize with them. We truly are all in this together. Since you cannot see your virtual employees, focus on digging deeper to understand how they are doing in this time of crisis and recognizing them for their achievements. Try to recognize and understand what generally motivates your employees and how that may need to be adjusted right now. This is a great opportunity to create your own team culture and real flavor of how you will recognize and motivate your virtual team. Leadership styles. Virtual leaders should consider examining their leadership style as a new virtual leader and or if anything needs to be adjusted in our current environment. While there are certainly similarities in leading face to face and virtually, our research found that transformational, situational, and servant leadership practices were utilized by the most successful virtual leaders. Now more than ever, try adopting servant and situational leadership practices to lead your virtual team. And lastly, lead from the front and lead by example. And now I'll turn this back over to Dr. Phelps.
Thank you so much for your time today. We really hope that you found this information both valuable and useful. Please feel free to reach out to either of us if you'd like to discuss the content or if you'd like to get a link to the article we published on the topic of virtual leadership in higher education. Most importantly, we hope you're staying safe and sane. Goodbye and good luck in all of your future endeavors.